I've always enjoyed the Sunday at Cooperstown. I've always, and it's easier now with DVR, obviously. I've always really enjoyed the walk down, history and memory lane, and I love the speech. Some are a little bit long, and some you don't really care about, but I've been a huge consumer of that over the years. And yesterday I had a chance to watch a lot of it. Whether it's Buck O'Neill, long overdue. Jim Cott, who was a Yankee announcer for a long time, who I love. Tony Oliva, great twin. Minnie Minosa. I mean, it was really cool. And two things jump out. First of all, with Gil Hodges, that's long overdue as well. We never saw Gil play, but the best thing that I can do is kind of connect him to a previous generation's Mattingly or Hernandez. Like, I feel like all the Gil Hodges fans, the legions of Hodges fans in Brooklyn, it was like they carried that cross for Gil over the years, like many of us do for Donnie and Keith. So I really inherently respect that. I get it. Died way too young, 47, of a heart attack. And I'm so happy that he's in. But then the other situation is David Ortiz. And the glorification of his path it's nauseating, dude. It's sickening. And it's so disingenuous by so many people.
But he's so likable.
I understand that.
He's a champion, and he represented the Red Sox, even though it's not his original team, with so great of a presence and a command and leadership that you gloss over the obvious.
Well, but that doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying
everybody's licking his boots.
That's why so many people forgive him and not others.
And I got no problem with David Ortiz being in the Hall of Fame. I long ago came to grips in my own mind. Hey, listen, I mean, if you leave these guys out, at this point, put Pete Rose in, put A-Rod in, put Clemens in, put them all in. The only one that I'm not sure about is Sosa, because when Sosa first came up with the White Sox, not with the Cubs, he was... I remember playing the Yankees.
He wasn't he wasn't
he wasn't that guy.
He wasn't a Hall of Famer pre-Royce.
No, but Bonds was, and Rocket was, and other, but Ortiz had, 6-7 years with the Twins, a very innocuous start. Now, that's not to say that, guys go to a different ballpark and they change some mechanics and there's a conviction and they let you play every day rather than, playing just against righties. There's a lot of reasons why David Ortiz became an all-star and a superstar and ultimately a Hall of Famer. But to elevate him above the mess, the steroid mess, it's just so disingenuous. I can't take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets a pass. And it's
why? Because he's just a gregarious personality?
Yes.
Well, that's wrong.
I agree. I 100% agree.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm just giving you the explanation because, I forgot. I was doing this thing for the Today Show. I told you this. It was called America the Beautiful when I was working at NBC on the Today Show. And one of the things that we did was ballparks. And so it was on Wrigley. It was on, some of these, I forget the one. What's the Giants ballpark?
Well, back then it used to be Pac Bell.
Pac Bell. It was Pac Bell. It was Pac Bell, yes.
Or Monster.com. It's had a lot of different names.
It was Pac Bell. And then we actually went to Fenway. And so we're doing the story.
Did you take BP?
I did.
Did you bang one against the Monster?
So I was taking BP and Coco. What's his name?
Coco Crisp.
Coco Crisp.
You wanted to say Coco Beware.
I did. I almost did. I stopped myself because I was like, no, that's not right. Coco Crisp. I had this light bat because I'm not playing football anymore. I'm not as strong as I used to be. I had this light bat. I'm just swinging as hard as I can. He's like, get rid of that little twig. And he gives me his bat, which was so damn heavy.
Do you know what it was? I wonder what he was. He was a little guy too.
He was, but he said, take this bat and swing it as hard as you can. It'll help. And so that's when I started to make some solid contact. But anyways,
did you hit the Monster yesterday?
No.
You didn't hit the Monster?
I didn't get close,
not even on
dude.
A fly?
Why do you think I didn't play baseball?
But still, it's
I
297 feet away.
Swing a bat. I have trouble hitting a softball.
Dude. It's an embarrassment.
I'm a great athlete. I just can't hit. I just can't.
It's not easy.
But anyways,
so Ortiz was there.
I met Big Papi. He was just there, and he was like, "Hey," and he said it in his accent. Think I could play football? I'm like, your legs are too skinny.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but seriously, you could have been a tight end. But we chatted for 10 minutes. He was awesome, man.
No, you love David Ortiz.
And so you end up liking him.
Okay.
Simply because of his personality.
It doesn't make it right. That's all I'm saying.
And you think of some of these other guys, Rocket was ornery. right? And especially with the media as this whole steroid thing started to come out.
Well, he was defiant, I think is the better word.
Whatever. You're right. A-Rod just flat out lied about it and tried to sue the league and the Players Association. I mean,
Palmero lied under Congress.
That's right. He had
to Congress.
Right. They all just kind of attacked the accusation, whereas Ortiz just never really addressed it. And so there's nothing on his record that says he lied to us. Whereas all these other guys, it's like, all right, you were disingenuous to our face.
There's a little difference there, but still.
Even though we knew what was going on here.
To me, they were all in the same crop.
I mean,
guys who cheated at this point, put him in. Not just him.
But it's all about how you feel about someone. I mean, it's all about how someone makes you feel. Yeah, like A-Rod made you feel. Though? It is.
It's about steroids. It is, but there's a lot of jerks that get voted in.
I know, but I'm talking about particularly steroids, like those guys who were associated. Call it HGH, steroids, HGH, whatever, a performance enhancer, because who knows what they actually were doing. But there's a lot of guys who are associated with it who were so defiant and made you feel like you're playing me like I'm an idiot. Like as an observer of this, you're trying to make me feel dumb by saying you know better than I do, even though we all know, right? David Ortiz never did that, so he made you feel like it was okay for him, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I don't think that you're wrong. I'm just pointing out that it's got to be a little more consistent. I mean, so he comes up with Minnesota, right? And he's not playing a lot early on. First year, 21 years of age, barely.
How much
plays.
did he weigh at that point? Like, what was his? Like,
question,
I don't know what
he was thinner.
I don't know what he looked like at that.
He was thinner. Year 2, at the age of 22, he goes for 9 home runs and
see if I can find this.
And 46 ribbies. In 99, he barely played. No home runs, no ribbies, and just 25 at bats. 2000, 4 years in, he goes for 10 home runs and 63 ribbies. Then at the age of 25, certainly an age in baseball where you're already hitting stride. 25 is, a couple of years in. He goes for 18 and 48. He hits 234. Then the next year at the Minnesota Twins, he goes for 20 and 75 with an OPS of 840, which is obviously good. But then he becomes basically like Babe Ruth. And I know part of it's the ballpark, that very enticing 37-foot wall that you could put it over or dent it. You got Manny behind you. You're getting better. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why.
I mean, he was still
playing every day.
He was still thick with the Twins, man. I mean,
you see the picture?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. I'm talking purely aesthetic.
Terrific player.
It's like a big body. He looked like he was young, so I call him a kid. He looked like a kid that was going to be hefty. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He didn't look skinny. He didn't look like Sosa did, or even Barry Bonds.
Oh, Bonds was a rail. He was a twig.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He looked like he could put on 20 pounds.
They just need to rectify this. It's such a disservice to the sport. Don't tell me we didn't watch Roger Clemens. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like Roger Clemens didn't exist.
I know.
Pete Rose didn't exist. I mean, stop.